Black Oni.
You're now listening to the Black Oni Podcast.
Welcome, everyone, on YouTube and iTunes to another exciting episode, or fup-episode, of the Black Oni Podcast. I am your host, JBlaze06, and I have with me three other guests. You might recognize two of them. One of them is a new guest, so this is exciting for us because we always welcome new people to the show. So the first person I'd like to mention is the 1KK, Kevin.
Howdy.
And, of course, he's been on the podcast many times before. He is a recurring guest. He is fucking awesome. And, you know...
Can't get rid of me.
That's the way I like it. And I had coffee, so I'm really, excited right now and really hopped up on caffeine. So, if you hear any yelling from here on out, I apologize in advance. Next, we have Dave, a.k.a. Soil, a.k.a. Soad. Which is
what's up?
AKAs.
AKA.
Yeah. AKA D-Train, AKA Modic. Like plenty of different ones, but yeah. What's up?
And we have Chris Parent. But also, what is your gamer name?
My gamer name, I've got a couple different gamer names. It depends on what handle. It usually has something to do with a bear. So if you see bears around, then you know.
Are we talking grizzly or polar or?
Grizzly bear.
Are we talking shaved grizzly bear? Those things are terrifying. Have you seen them?
No. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. No, they're real scary though. I feel bad for them. Like I feel like a kinship. So when I see them shaved, it feels like I'm shaved, and I hate it.
I think, Dave, we're gonna have for your picture just a shaved bear.
Gosh, it's gonna be scary, man.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like. Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Oh, you have to.
Have you ever seen like a naked mole rat before?
Yeah.
Just
it's like a giant naked mole rat.
And really evil.
Yeah, it's like that.
Oh god, that's awful. It looks like a bat.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's awesome.
Why would you do that?
Because people are evil, man.
That's hysterical. And we've already broken the ice in terms of getting acquainted with each other a little bit. We're going to further develop that idea of breaking the ice with our icebreaker.
So little enthusiasm.
Wait, what'd you say?
So little enthusiasm today.
A little bit. Fine, we'll do it. We'll do a full thing. Icebreaker.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, I need to put I need to get the soundboard and throw that in each time while it's recording so you guys can hear it instead of it being a post-production thing. But for now, this will do. So Kevin came up with this question, which is a great question. What character would you most like to spend the night drinking with? I can't wait to hear these.
I still don't know that I have a good answer. I should.
I have a bunch of answers, but I don't.
I know, me too, but they're dark.
Oh,
I'd like someone else to go first.
A bunch of not answers.
I'll go. I gotta go.
Not answers? What does that even mean?
Like people I definitely would not want to spend the night drinking with.
Okay.
I know, because it's gonna get bad.
Yeah.
Or depressing.
Oh yeah, we talked about it in the podcast thread. Yeah, it would totally get really bad.
Like I definitely wouldn't want to drink with Batman because he'd just start he'd
Sobbing.
brood, or he'd start just crying about his parents, and it'd be really sad.
He'd just be crying.
Oh no, you
all
could
the
be
shit
pretty
that
awesome
happens.
though.
Not just
you could be like, "Hey, this one time, I broke this guy's leg,
Or he'd
threw
just
this
start
other guy
fights.
off a building."
He'd definitely just start fights too.
Dude, I've never seen a drunk Bruce Wayne.
Like he'd be drinking, and then he'd just be like, "Are you looking at me?" He'd be like, "No, sir, I am not. I'm not looking at you at all."
I'm Bruce Wayne, Batman.
Well, who would you drink with?
What do you think he would drink though? Batman.
Oh man, Batman.
Probably
Scotch, whiskey.
the tears
something.
of his enemies.
Wait, what'd you say?
The tears of his enemies.
The tears of his.
There you go. Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Bones.
What do you drink if you really hate yourself?
Tequila.
Everclear. Straight.
Okay. Chris.
No, I got an answer for this one because I don't drink.
Okay.
So I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, who would I want to hang out with? Who would get drunk and be entertaining to be around when I'm not drunk?
Yeah.
Right. So I think the king of all cosmos.
Oh, hell yeah.
Masi.
Yep, you win.
Yeah, I think that would be just hanging around with him as he, lays waste to the universe.
It'd be funny, but he'd also randomly just tell you, like, how worthless you are. Like,
that's true.
And how bad you are at not drinking.
That's true. That's true.
That is very true. Damn. Way to bring it back.
If we could include the Robo King, I might enjoy it more.
There you go.
King and Robo King.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
And the prince, just get them all.
I mean, why not just include all, 72 cousins? Why not?
Yeah. This is a party.
Yeah. I still don't have an answer.
I mean, if I went dark with it, like one of my answers, which I probably wouldn't do, is Max Payne. Because he'd probably just drink you under the table.
Oh, absolutely. Without
But he'd have
question.
some crazy stories to tell, man.
He would
probably.
under the table instantly.
But, I mean,
That's like it's cool.
if I went nostalgic with it, just because if I wanted to be, I don't know, stupid or cute, I'd drink with Mario.
I was going to say Luigi.
Interesting. I like these.
You guys could go and talk afterwards about what each brother said to each other.
Yeah, right?
What was Luigi talking about? When
Exactly. I feel like Luigi's would very quickly turn into my brother's such an idiot. Here's all the stuff you don't know about him.
I feel like Mario would be like, I still haven't gotten any. I'm still running after that princess.
I've been doing this shit for years, man. Still isn't putting out. Is she a saint or does she just not love me anymore?
I don't know. What about you, Will?
All right. This is probably not the most entertaining answer, but I feel like this is what I would do. It wouldn't be Solid Snake. As much as I would love for that to be my answer, because anything involving Metal Gear is usually my default answer. I'm gonna go with Commander Shepard.
Wow, that's a good one.
Which Shepard?
It doesn't matter.
Male or female?
I would prefer female because
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, female Shepard is funnier, honestly.
Yeah.
She's way better.
I feel like she's more interesting overall.
Because she gets to antagonize the men nonstop.
I thought about that same answer when I was thinking about it, but I decided to go with the zany answer instead.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind drinking with Garrus.
Yeah, Garrus as well. Garrus or Liara. There are a lot of characters in Mass Effect that I would absolutely have drinks with at any given time. Yeah. Liara is my second choice because I love, I didn't play the first Mass Effect. So, most of the stuff I know about Mass Effect came after I played 2. And so, I started learning about the characters and the backstories and stuff like that. And I was just Liara is one of the most, detailed, awesome characters of any game I've ever, experienced. How come more people aren't talking about her? But, of course, she's not a character that you play as, so that might be part of it. But, the other part is, of course, people tend to lean more towards, male characters. But, the characters are so interesting in that world that, I would just love to, dig into some of the questions that I, had while playing the game, talking to them. And plus, Liara was kind of cute, so that helps.
I was more of a Miranda fan.
Miranda, dude.
Sorry. I always went that way.
You talk about that for a second? She's a total bitch at first, but once you open her up.
She's kind of a bitch, but that's why I was thinking about would I take her out for drinks? No, probably not.
I would. I wouldn't.
She's still hot. I'd still go after that, but but she's just kind of annoying. But
I'd like to take Talia out for some drinks.
Talia. Well, it would also be she'd be calling her straw the
straw.
induction board. That was probably my favorite moment of Mass Effect 3.
Because she can't hold her liquor.
She can't hold her liquor, nor can she like take her mask off, so she has to use a straw. Like, that was a good question though. Very good question. So we're gonna move on to the gaming news section of the podcast. What have you guys been playing?
Monster Hunter.
What about Majora's Mask? You just got that too, right?
Nope, just Monster Hunter. And some Hand of Fate, but mostly Monster Hunter.
Okay, so tell us a little bit. Let's try that again. Tell us a little bit about Hand of Fate.
Hand of Fate is, I think it started as like a Kickstarter game. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like I don't know. It's like you're playing against like the Fate Master. Mm-hmm. So you're dead or dying. I don't know. It's not really elaborated, but he deals out cards that are your memories, and you play through over and over again, like from the beginning, starting with basic equipment, earning more, and fighting a boss. But every time you play, you get better stuff that you can earn, but it also gets way more difficult because like every time you beat a boss, they just get shuffled into the deck.
Oh, okay.
So it proceeds like a tabletop game. Like you just see a little pawn on top of cards, and you flip over more cards as you go that tell you what you encounter. And then it goes to like very Arkham City inspired combat.
Nice.
For combat. So it's all about dodging and countering. So
that's awesome.
It's brutal, it's fast, and I lose a lot, but I like it.
And what system is this for?
It released on PC like 2 months ago. It's now on PS4. I think it's on Xbox One, and I think it's on PS3, but I could be wrong there.
Do you know how much it costs on those?
I don't.
I'm interested in this. I kind of want this.
I think it's $20.
I think it is 20. I think I got it for less the day it released because they do that, but I think it's 20.
I'm gonna look that shit up.
It's fun. It's glitchy. It crashes a lot.
Damn it!
But that will get better.
I saw that game. It looked really cool, but there were like so many parts to the game. Like there's the tabletop part, and there's the deck management part, and there's the combat part. And I was just like, whoa.
The deck management is super simplified. Like you pretty much you see what's new, and you see what can still earn you more cards. So you essentially just like take out what you want and put those in, and try and balance how difficult the encounter can be. Because when you manage the deck, you're determining what you can encounter.
That's really cool that you have kind of a mixture of all those elements in one game.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it works, I say.
It works. Yeah. It's fun.
And Monster Hunter obviously is a fairly popular game.
Yep.
And
I waste way more time than I realize. Like, I'm still like just at the beginning of the game, and I've thrown hours into it. I'll sit down and just be like, I'm just gonna wait until I can craft this one set of armor, and then it'll be like 7 hours later, and I still won't have the armor.
That's hilarious. So, what about you, Dave?
Oh gosh, let me think. Rocksmith, which is still plugged in right now. The Order and Evolve. I think those are my big three.
And what are your thoughts on The Order? So I know we talked about this during the last podcast when we were talking about Evolve and The Order, actually.
Was that before or after The Order came out? I think it was before, right?
It was before. It was right before.
Yeah. But it was after Evolve came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Gosh. To simply put it, that game has gotten a lot more hate than it deserves. It's a solid, like, if I'm to be like mean about it, like a 7.5.
Okay.
If I'm being generous, I'd say it's like at least an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
It was a very good game. It was quick. It had a lot of cutscenes, but it still to me was a really fun, enjoyable experience. I really digged it.
Would you recommend it at the full price, or would you recommend people wait a little while?
I mean, that's the only other thing. I mean, most people, it's not worth $60. For me, if I had paid $49.99, it would be like perfect. That's a perfect purchase. But on average, I think other people will wait till it's like $39, and I think that's selling it short because it is also one of the prettiest games I've ever played.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
All right, that's solid. I think I'm personally going to wait a little while for the price to drop.
Yeah.
Just because I have so much other stuff to play. But before we get to any of the stuff that I'm playing, what about you, Chris, or Bear, or I don't know what other?
Well, I haven't had a lot of time to play video games recently because I'm doing a lot of stuff with the comic and Kickstarter thing right now, which I'll talk about later. But I recently played some Shadows of Mordor.
Nice.
Which I enjoyed quite a bit. I like that one. I like that one a lot.
That's awesome.
I'm a big Tolkien buff, so playing through that was somewhat frustrating on the lore sense because they got some stuff kind of like, but also the gameplay was really entertaining.
Yeah.
And then I also been playing some Saints Row 4 because I got it real cheap.
That's awesome. So do you like that?
Which one?
Saints Row 4.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, it for me, Saints Row, what Saints Row is now is the way that I viewed Grand Theft Auto when I was a kid. You know, it's just totally zany. Like when I was a kid and Grand Theft Auto was coming out on like Xbox and stuff, well, I never played it for like the story or anything. Me and my friends always just immediately put in the cheats and went like totally buck wild and go crazy on everything.
Yeah.
And Saints Row 4 is like, it's basically exactly like that. You just immediately go in and go completely ham on everything.
It's pretty excellent.
It's hilarious and fun and stupid. And the online multiplayer works really well. So me and my friends can get together even though, you know, we're not remotely near each other anymore.
I played Saints Row 3 before. I played through it and beat it and like had a really great time playing it. It was a lot of fun. So did you play 3 at all?
I didn't. I own it now because it was in the pack that I got. But I haven't played it.
So my question was going to be like, is it very similar to that in terms of kind of the overall structure and overall gameplay mechanics and stuff like that? But I think it's similar in some ways. Is 4 the one with the superpowers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I did play Saints Row 3 once on a friend's system.
Okay.
And I remember my friend was talking about 4 coming out, and that's the only reason I know it wasn't 4 is because he was talking about it coming out. And it's similar in the gameplay, except for the fact that you get superpowers.
Right.
Like the gameplay is very similar. You're still running around doing all the stuff, like beat people up, you know, blowing things up, all that. Even a lot of
dildo bats.
There are.
Okay,
well,
I'm sold.
well, actually, I don't know if it's specifically a dildo. It's a tentacle bat. So. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. To some people.
That's awesome. Very cool. I recently picked up Rocksmith. I've been playing that a little bit. I'm really bad at guitaring.
Practice.
Really. Like I don't even know what to do with my hands. Like when I only use 2 fingers at a time. So like I'm just not used to that shit at all with like my left hand like on the neck of the guitar.
You got to work your way up to 2 fingers.
Oh yeah.
Practice.
Hopefully you guys at home caught that.
Oh, I did.
And I've been playing some Dragonball Xenoverse. I've been really enjoying that game. There are a few things about the game that kind of bother me. One is that they block a lot of the scenes when you're live streaming. So, like, there are
a lot of games are doing that now. Like, more and more games are doing that.
Yeah, so like now I have to start live streaming directly from my computer to the TV, to the console, as opposed to just doing it from the console because it's getting to the point where I just like I want to provide entertainment to the people watching at home on Twitch. And you know, staring at a blue screen for like a solid 4 minutes is not entertaining. And then like listening to me describe the scene, and then like after that scene, like there's a fight that happens that they block as well. So it's like, come on, guys, really. And aside from that, there's some like RPG elements that they threw in there that kind of don't work that well. So like you can create a character and like you can assign moves to them, and you can like go Super Saiyan once you like unlock that. All that stuff that they've added in there was like brilliant. Like I love the way they implemented all that stuff. But when it comes to like interacting with environments and going to this town that you go to go to each individual shop or each individual area, like it takes so much time, and like there's loading in between like these 3 sections. So like every time you go this way towards the main mission, there's like a loading screen, and then you get there, then you go over, and there's like another loading screen, and then you go in, and then you talk, and then there's another loading screen, and then you like get into the cutscene. Like it shouldn't be that complicated. It should just be menu, story, go. That's it. So that's kind of my main gripe about it so far. Other than that, the game's super fun. And what else have I been playing? I just started playing the Swapper.
Is it good?
What do you think so far?
It's complicated, but it's really fucking good.
I know Jordan loves that game.
Yeah, he has good reason to love it. It's really, it's kind of philosophical in some of the things that they talk about and explore.
I like philosophical games.
Yeah, and it's but it doesn't really give you much like reason why you're there. So like when you're playing the game, you're like just kind of figuring things out, and the game does not hold your hand at all. But it kind of works in its favor because you're discovering so much about what your capabilities are. A lot of it is just limited to like there's certain areas in the environment that like you can create a clone anywhere, except certain areas of the environment. So like some of them have like this red mist around them, or is it blue mist? I think it's blue mist. And if it's blue mist, you can't create a clone. But if it's red mist, you can't teleport to your clone. So like all the stuff that happens is kind of indicative of like what's going on with the environment. So you have to figure things out from there, and it's really, really interesting. And I just beat Dying Light yesterday.
What do you think about that?
It was awesome. It was
Yeah.
it was so awesome. I mean, Rice is kind of stupid. Like the final battle was kind of dumb. Like I thought it was gonna be I don't want to ruin anything.
I beat it.
Yeah, you beat it, but everyone else at home probably did.
Yeah.
So I was kind of disappointed by the ending fight. I'm just gonna put it that way. The very ending fight was disappointing, but like everything leading up to it was so epic. Like you had to do a lot of climbing, and with a lot of climbing means you might be really high in the air, and it's like insane to just think about like how high you are, and like you're just climbing this thing. I'm trying not to spoil anything. It's very cool. I highly recommend the game to anyone. People out there, I was very skeptical of the game because in a lot of ways it is like Dead Island, but it's what Dead Island should have been from the beginning, and that's like an amazing experience. Like really strong story. It's not like the best story ever, but it's strong. It's something that keeps you motivated to keep playing.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone who doesn't have it, just go buy it. Do it. It's co-op. 4-player co-op. You can just go in and join your friends' games and just wreck zombies in the face all day. It's great.
Yeah, the co-op and the gameplay looked like the strongest things to me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the single player in a lot of ways is more powerful because of the impact that certain elements of the game have. So like, there's nighttime scenes. Like at any given point, you can be playing through the game. And there's morning and night, and at nighttime, like you are vulnerable. And so when you have four people playing with you, you have much more safety. You have much more security around like going from place to place, and you're more inclined to actually do it. When you're alone, even with really powerful weapons, sometimes you're just like, I'm not trying to be out at night right now. Like, you have a legitimate fear of like losing those survivor points that you just spent all that time getting. So it's more impactful to play alone, but it's probably more entertaining to play with other people.
See, for me, the story for me, I think, was kind of a hiccup in my mind. But I feel like, for me personally, the game would have been more appealing if it was more open world, where like you create your own kind of story.
Okay.
Because are you familiar with This War of Mine?
No.
It's on PC. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on PC. It's kind of a smaller game, but the premise is that it's not a zombie apocalypse. You're in a war-torn area, so there's actual war going on, and it's like a procedurally generated kind of game. So you
That's cool.
have a little, you have your base, and then you have to go and scavenge, and you get like people who are also trying to survive through this war. But there's no real story other than like there's this war going on, and it's kind of a similar kind of. The gameplay is not at all similar, but it's the same kind of genre, I guess, where you're scavenging, trying to like keep your group safe. But I feel like because there's this sense like you're building this whole thing, like you're really helping it. It makes it more impactful to me. Like I like games like that, where you're building it up.
Right.
As opposed to like walking through the story,
right?
Because for me, like the whole.
Did you play Dying Light?
I haven't played it. I've seen a lot of it.
Okay.
I haven't played it, and I really almost bought it until I saw how story driven it was.
Okay.
Because for me, games like that lose a lot of impact when they're like, "Oh man, you got to get here like right now because." People are going to die. And it's like, yeah, but I'm going to go do like 8 side missions first.
Yeah, and it's like that. It's actually like that. There's a lot. It's an open world game, so you can choose to do any of that stuff whenever you want. Like,
yeah. But I like it when it goes either like all the way one way or all the way the other. Because for me, like somebody telling me like everybody in the whole building's going to explode in an hour. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend like 4 in-game days doing side missions. And then like they give me a call and they're like, it's been 15 minutes. We got to do this thing. Yeah, okay.
That's like Far Cry. That was one thing that bothered me about Far Cry 3. It's like, stop reminding me of this mission. I'm doing other shit.
Like there was this game that I played a little while ago. I'm trying to remember. It was also a zombie apocalypse game. Oh man, I can't remember what it was called.
DayZ?
No, it was also a small game. When we were talking way back when at the convention, I play a lot of small kind of like indie-ish, or indie-ish games.
Were you thinking of The Forest?
No, it's but what I'm getting at, I'm gonna look it up on Steam right now. But what I'm getting at is it gives you those kind of choices, but like your followers go out, like people from your base will go out, and sometimes they'll get in jams, like they'll get stuck in situations, and then if you don't go to them, they just die. Oh wow! Like you have to actually go and save them. So like you'll be out.
Xbox game? It was Xbox 360 only.
No, I have it on Steam.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking of something else then.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. But I can't believe I forgot the name because I really like it.
You're
State of Decay. State of Decay.
State of Decay. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
State of Decay. Yeah, like you get your group of survivors in your base, and then like you could be out on this mission, and you're like, oh, I got to go and get ammo for the base, and then all of a sudden, you get this thing on the intercom that's like, hey, this person's getting hoarded by zombies, and they're holed up in this building. You got to go save them. And if you don't go save them, they're just
that's it.
They're just dead, and then that person's gone.
Right.
Like I was playing that game, and that's like really impactful. And there'll be like other groups of survivors and stuff that are completely separate bases. And I was playing this one time, and they radioed me, be like, "Hey, we're getting attacked by zombies." I was like, "Okay, cool, I'll come help because I'm a cool guy like that." And I rolled up on them, and there were like 2 super huge, strong zombies, like wrecking the place.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, well, I can't help you, so bye. and
LOL, JK.
Yeah, I was like, oh, all right, guys, beyond my pay grade. So they got like wiped out, and there was like, I felt so bad because there was one person from the base that survived, and they just stayed in the base after like everybody in their whole group got killed, and they just lived there alone. Yeah. And I would go and like visit them from time to time, and they'd be like, you know, not programmed in the game that you can come visit me, but why don't you come join my group instead of living in this house alone? It's so bad.
He's so depressed that you didn't help. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Chris.
I can't join you. I remember.
Not after what you did.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I like to impart a lot of my own story onto games. So when they like really force the story down my throat, I like regurgitate it back at them.
Yeah, I can understand the sentiment, and I like games like that too, and I like games that try to blend the two a little bit, and I think that's one of the things that Dying Light does really well, because there's a lot of random encounters that kind of happen that are similar in a lot of ways to that. Maybe not to the extent of like someone like now living in this house or something like that, but there are a ton of side quests and a ton of like randomly generated stuff that happen throughout the game as well. So those are always fun. Yeah,
it looked really, really fun, and I was like this close to buying it until I realized how like it's a really story-driven game.
Yeah,
and like if you're into the story, then like that's good. That's good, because I've heard a lot of people say the same thing. Like it's a cool story when you get like playing it. Like you really get compelled when you're playing it. Yeah,
but yeah. So yeah, I think we have a good list of different games that we've all been playing, which is awesome. I'm glad to see kind of a broad spectrum of things going on. We have a bunch of games that came out within the last time the podcast went up. So I'm just going to go down the list, and then we can see if there's any of those that you guys wanted to talk about, since we already talked about a few of these already. There is February 20th, the Book of Unwritten Tales 2 on PC. There's Kirby and the Rainbow Curse for the Wii.
I've heard that's great.
Really?
Yeah. It's gotten some really solid reviews. Yeah.
Is it something you'd be interested in picking up?
Maybe. I don't know. It's all about drawing on the gamepad, and I don't really like doing that.
So. Oh, that gamepad.
I do not have a Wii U, but that game looks really fun, and it's adding to the stack of games that are pressuring me to buy a Wii U.
Yeah.
Nintendo's doing a very good job this year of making people want a Wii U.
Yeah, it's working. It's really working.
Except for me.
After not releasing anything for like 2 years for it.
Yeah. And I'm also we talked about this during the last podcast about how, Kevin, you were saying that there's a good chance that Nintendo's going to announce a new console this year.
Very good chance.
So I am very excited to see that pan out, and there are some E3 and PAX predictions that I do have for one of our later topics, but we'll get to that later. But it's good to I'm glad to hear that Kirby and the Rainbow Curse is shaping up to be a pretty cool game, because the more Wii U games, the better. The Order 1886, which we just talked about, Roundabout on the Xbox One. And then for February 24th, we have Aru's Awakening. It's for PC, Mac, and Linux. Desert Ashes? Or was that Desert Ashes? That's Desert.
I'm assuming desert. I don't think you want to eat like ashes.
I mean, maybe that's like a delicacy. Maybe that's a thing.
Nah.
Ashes and ice cream.
Ashes.
Nah.
It's like seafood.
It's like the company that will turn your dead relatives into a gem will also turn them into ice cream.
Into a jam?
It's disgusting.
A gem. Like a diamond.
That's cool.
That's
that you can wear them forever.
That's a little really creepy.
Cool. It's creepy, but
creepy.
Cool.
I don't know. I'm just picturing somebody like asking somebody to marry them, and then being like, "This is my grandmother's ring, and this is my grandmother."
I mean,
and it's like
oh man,
well, you put it that way.
I'm gonna pass. Thank you.
Our grandmother will always be with you.
That's a whole new level of drama over rings, man.
Jay.
Yeah.
I can't.
We don't need any of that.
When you put it that way, I'm not as interested in it anymore. Dragonball Xenoverse on pretty much all the systems, except for Nintendo systems. Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires on all, Xbox One, PS4, PS3, and PC. H-Tall, #Neek.
I don't even know what you just said.
I don't even. Just
I assume that was a typo.
It's just not. That's just what it is. I think that's what it is, right? I'm gonna click on it and see what happens. Nope, that's totally what it is. All right. Yep. On the Vita.
That explains it.
Hyper Devotion Noir, Goddess Blackheart on the Vita. Limbo on PS4, which is, I'm assuming, just the port.
It is.
Resident Evil Revelations 2, Episode 1.
What's up with that?
So, I played Revelations 1.
On what?
On the PS3.
Thank you, because I was wondering like where that shit started.
Oh, no, it started on the Nintendo 3DS, I believe.
Yep.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And then they poured it to the PS3 and 360.
The first one was a full game. The new one's episodic, which is weird, and I don't like it.
It's very weird. I stopped liking Revelations after I realized how badly it was recycling everything in the game. Like, literally everything was being recycled, down from, like, the environments to the enemies to, like, literally a boss that appears 5 times after you've killed it each time.
That's stupid.
Literally. And it was funny because I was playing it, and my roommate comes over, and every time I was playing it, he was like, Rachel's gonna come back. Rachel's gonna come back. And I shit you not, like 20 minutes later. So he comes over, he's like, hey, where's Rachel? I was like, I swear to God, if you say that one more time. And literally, I'm not even kidding, end of the game, it happens again. I was like, I'm done. Put it down and just walked away.
Is it exactly the same boss fight and everything?
Yes. She
That's
just kept showing up.
Brutal.
I mean, that's the revelation. The revelation is that there's 5 minutes of gameplay.
And backtracking, that's pretty much all it was. I enjoyed it for what it was at the time, but like, that's because I wasn't really playing much else at the time. Like, I had taken some time to just do that. Never again.
Never again.
Resident Evil, never again.
Yeah. That's a shame. I was looking at it. I was kind of like, maybe, but
it might be worth looking into if they've improved on what they did with 1, but it looks the same to me.
Yeah, I haven't heard amazing things about it from anybody else either. I've got, like, you know, anything Resident Evil-y kind of always pulls on the heartstrings, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe this.
Try to hold out a little hope, right?
I also like episodic games, but there's no reason for that to be episodic.
Nope.
At all.
Nope.
And
I mean,
it's not like they're still...
Maybe they want to give you more of the game than they're actually done with. So, like,
no, they're releasing them like every week.
What the fuck?
Like, they're releasing the entire game within like 2 months, is what I originally read. So it's done. They're just
buy the season pass.
Yeah, I think it's just a marketing thing, like, so that you think that it costs like $10, but that's only the first episode.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's how they get you. Let's see what else we have here. We have February 24th. Oh, I didn't actually keep that part in there. Oh yeah, that is actually. So they're releasing on 2 separate days for PlayStation and Xbox PC. Rugby 15. Star Wall for the PS4 and PS3.
That game is amazing.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh man.
I mean, I like the premise.
Have you seen it? Like, have you
No, I
actually
haven't.
watched? Oh man. If you have people to play that game with, it is the funniest thing on the planet.
Wait, so what is this game? Explain this to us.
This is like a I think it's you should really only play it with like 4 people. But it is a competitive narwhal fighting game.
Oh jeez.
Where basically what you're doing is everybody is and it's narwhals in space. So everything's like neon, right?
God damn it.
And so basically, it's like 4 narwhals, and you're flopping around, and you have to like hit the other narwhals in the stomach with your horn.
Oh, jeez.
And I think you get 3 hits.
Okay.
So it's basically like it's kind of like a fighting game, kind of QWOP-like, I guess.
Yeah.
Where you like all 4. It's mayhem, but like all 4 people, like you kind of have a handle on what you're doing the whole time.
Are the controls like really funky, or are they pretty standard, straightforward? I should say.
They're pretty straightforward, but even with them being straightforward, it's like Octodad.
Okay, yeah.
The controls are really straightforward. That doesn't mean you actually have a lot of control, but they're really straightforward. So like you feel like you got it, but at the same time, then like other people, they're just constantly like ramming into you, and like it's just it looks like a bunch of fish flopping around the whole time, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it is hilarious and it's great. If you got people to
play more Octodad.
What'd you say?
So now I want to go play more Octodad.
Yeah, seriously. I was like just looking at that the other day. Like maybe I should stream that today.
It's really funny.
It is.
Have you played I Am Bread?
No, but I saw I Am Bread. I think I was watching Source Fed Nerd, and that is pretty cool looking. Not gonna lie, like a great party game to have.
Yeah, it's like Octodad hard mode.
But you're toast. Oh, your bread trying to be toast.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
It's
pretty awesome. So yeah, that's something to look out for, guys. People at home, Starwall, check it out. There came an Echo for the PC. Under Night in Birth X, late.
You're just adding words.
Hashtag
Like is that the new strategy in game development? Just put random words together?
I think this might be
and hope that millennials will buy it?
Just put hashtags in front of everything. H-Tall, hashtag Neek, the Firefly Diary. Like,
exactly.
What is that even? What is that even? Like, how do you even say that? Like, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. There's no way. Number sign, H-Tall, number sign.
Are you? Is that really a thing that you're saying right now?
Oh, it's totally a thing. It's
not a thing.
It's on the agenda. There's a link.
It's
an actual thing.
I thought you were still joking about what we were just talking about.
Those are things that exist, apparently. I don't even. I feel like they shouldn't sell just because they're just like making it hard for us to understand what the fuck they're doing. Homeworld remastered on PC.
That's cool.
February 25th. We have Isbara, the First Journey, PC and Mac, Linux, and Republic remastered on PC. So, for you guys at home who are wondering what games have just released, those are what they are. Go check them out, see if they're worth seeing. You can see the full list on blackoniblog.com. That will be there, as well as on the YouTube channel, of course. There'll be a link to it. Anyway. More gaming news. So next month is set to be a pretty big release month. Was it this intense last year? And what games are you most excited for?
Yeah, I was looking at that list. It's not that big a month. Are we talking March or April, man?
March.
Yeah, it's not that big to me.
It's pretty big to me considering like months prior to that has had like not much going on.
It's big in terms of like numbers of games and
sure.
And big fan bases. I don't think that it's a month where everybody's going to feel like they need to buy 10 things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I am excited for Final Fantasy Type O.
Yeah.
I hope it's not awful.
I think you and Jordan and Chris Scano, it's Yoru, are also hoping the exact same thing. I am too, but maybe to a lesser extent. I'm more excited for 15, but...
I mean, I'm psyched, like super psyched for Bloodborne.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
yeah.
I really hope I'm not wrong again because everyone fucking hated the order. I'm hoping that feeling is not wrong about this game. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
But besides that, like not much else.
It looks like Demon's Souls, but faster and with more emphasis on being able to invite your friends to the game.
Pillars of Eternity looks really awesome.
What game?
Pillars of Eternity.
Let me see.
It's March 26th.
March 26th.
It's meant to be like a Baldur's Gate style game on PC.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It got kickstarted with lots of money.
That's cool.
And every preview looks really good. I have no way to play it, but it looks cool.
I'm
it looks
down
like
to play
Baldur's
it.
Gate. Yeah.
I'm definitely down to play it. But like we have so many games here, right? We have. I mean, I thought it was a lot of games. We have Neverwinter coming to Xbox One. Tokiden Kiwami, which is a game that I've always been interested in, coming to PS4 and Vita, as opposed to only Vita, which is great for me. Slender is coming to PS4 and Xbox One, even though that's been on PC. Of course, we just talked about Bloodborne, Mario Party 10 on the Wii U.
I am so excited for that, honestly.
Dude, yeah. It's going to be great.
I have a small Mario Party obsession. I still have my GameCube for Skies of Arcadia and for 3 Mario Parties. That's why it's still hooked up to a TV and will never be disconnected.
Wait, can't you use all of those on your Wii U or your Wii?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's
mini
not
discs.
compatible. Oh, it doesn't fit.
Nope.
Lame.
Like the Wii U has like the PlayStation where there's no tray, so there's no way to use a mini disc because it would just break your system.
Oh no! Oh no! That's so shitty. We have Hotline Miami 2 coming,
which I'll probably pick up.
I'm probably gonna pick that up. Let's be serious.
I'll wait until it's free in a month.
That's true. For people who love DMC Remake, that the definitive edition of that is coming as well.
I don't
so
care.
Unnecessary. Like, who is gonna buy it? Like
somebody is. Someone's gonna fucking waste money on it.
All right, they did improve on a lot of things. They did give it a 60 frames per second boost. They improved some of the balancing mechanics for the combos.
I still don't care.
I mean, I don't either. But
the last one still looked good. Like, I don't know. And it wasn't all that good a game.
Exactly. I don't want to play the same damn game I just played. I mean, even if they improve this or that, it's still the same game.
I'm not going to buy it. I'll just put it that way.
Like
my question is, can you play as like white-haired younger version in all the remake versions?
I think technically
they just put him in as a skin.
Yeah, exactly. So the same attitude, same personality and voice and everything.
Just break the timeline completely.
Wait. As far as I understood, it was just DMC, as in that
yeah, it's
new
just
version.
DMC.
No, it is.
It's not the other ones, right?
It is only DMC. I think it actually might include Devil May Cry, one of the other Devil May Cry games in it as well, but I'm not entirely sure. I think that was a rumor that they were saying was going to be included in it. But it makes no sense to do that because they're totally unrelated to each other.
Yep. And they're releasing them all anyways at some point, so why bother?
Yeah.
Helldivers is coming next month as well, or this month, I guess, coming up since today is the first that we're recording this. Scream Ride, there's a lot of shit coming next month, I thought. Let me see what's going on for April, because there's barely anything coming for April.
April's Mortal Kombat.
But there is Mortal Kombat.
It is Mortal Kombat, that is true. And I think a lot of people are excited for that. Bastion is coming as well.
I'm so bad at Mortal Kombat, but I'm so excited.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I'm not great at Mortal Kombat either, but I remember that time.
I get so excited when I lose, and then my friend punches my head off.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. There's good shit happening all around, I think. But of all the months that are confirmed to have stuff, March is the biggest one so far this year.
True.
And I think it might be the biggest one until September.
Yeah.
Even general game release schedules and what I know of what's coming out. What I know of what's coming out pretty much disappears after May.
No, there's still Batman in June. I'm counting it.
Confirmed.
But I don't remember last year, I guess. Did last year... It had games that people thought were going to be really big. So, Watch Dogs, for example, came out in, June or July or something like that. I don't remember.
I just remember Infamous wasn't that, last February?
That was last February, yeah.
Or was it... No, it was, the beginning of March I think it might have been February because I was in Japan at the time. I was in Tokyo, and I remember it came out, and I was like, I want to just go home and play it. But I don't want to leave here.
But I don't recall much from March besides, I guess, like Watch Dogs, or that was spring-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I did just find a $50 gift card to GameStop that I had left on this table from Christmas, and now I'm tempted to go out and buy something.
Bloodborne.
Well, no, something for now that I really don't need, like Dragon Ball, but I really, really don't need that.
I mean, I like it. I told you the flaws. I mean, if you're going in expecting a really deep RPG style game, you're going to be disappointed. But if you like blowing shit up with energy blasts and seeing Goku aside, like right next to you fighting Frieza and shit, and like that shit's cool. Shit's really cool. But yeah, I think we talked about some of the games we were excited for. I mean, I'm super pumped about this year. Something equally interesting that could be a possibility is that the Oculus Rift could be here as soon as April. Now, for you guys, what would it need to cost, or what would it need to do, or what would need to be a thing in order for you to immediately invest in it?
I mean, I think there'd need to be games, and right now there aren't.
Yeah.
My big thing is if they can find a way to make this compatible with consoles and PCs, I would be down for that.
But how much for a price, though? I mean, I just don't think the games are in place already, or that they're wanting to work on future projects. That I'm guessing it's going to be too expensive. I have no interest at all right now, like zero.
Yeah, I think this is going to kind of fall in the realm of
niche.
A cool technology. Yeah, a cool technology that's just not where it needs to be in order to appeal. Like Nintendo runs into that all the time. Like they have all these great ideas like 15 or 20 years before it's useful, and then they retry it 15 or 20 years later, and people are like, hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like voice activation and all that kind of stuff. Like people were trying that ages ago, and it didn't catch on because it was too costly and weird compatibility issues and all that kind of stuff. Like I think the Rift is going to end up being something like that, where like some people are going to be early adopters and they're going to love it, but most people are just going to be like, it's too hard. There's not enough stuff, and I don't understand it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's.
I think they'd have to really work. They have to really work to get me to buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one, and I had an opportunity to try out the Oculus Rift on 2 occasions. One which
it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think it's a really viable way to like immerse you in a game in a much different way than you would be otherwise. But also, it has to eliminate as many of the cumbersome things that are associated with setting something like that up, like all the wires, like figuring out what kind of headsets are compatible with wearing it, like. The comfort isn't an issue because I've worn both versions of it. And both of them were very comfortable, so that's not an issue. But like also over time, motion sickness and fatigue. Like people get fatigued very easily using the Oculus Rift, so that's something that they're going to have to.
I mean, and I've also wondered a lot too. Like you're wearing a helmet so you can't see anything, and you're actually moving around. Like, what's going to stop me from just knocking over everything in my living room?
Well, don't move around, first of all.
Well, no, but you're moving your head and your arms.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm sitting at a table and I don't know what's around me, I'm going to be constantly terrified that I'm just going to, hit things.
It's true. It's true.
The next level of immersion, just put things around you from the game.
There you go.
And I think they're gonna. We've talked about this before. They're gonna have to really hit the nail on the head when it comes to pricing as well. Consumers are at a point now where they don't want to invest in something that they might not end up liking much.
Especially when it's like a completely new thing. It's not like something that you're adding on to something that you have. It's something complete.
Exactly.
I think it's a first step I think it's a very good first step, and I'm intrigued to see what Sony and Microsoft have coming.
Yes.
And I'd like to see where the Oculus goes, but I feel like it's not going to do well.
Interesting. So, obviously, Sony has the Project Morpheus, and Microsoft has the HoloLens that they're trying to capture and go towards. And I'm on the fence on whether or not I'm more interested in the HoloLens versus the Morpheus, because like the ability to still see everything else around you with a HoloLens is like really enticing, because like it immerses you into an experience outside of the screen and brings all of that in there, whereas the Morpheus or the Oculus Rift completely envelops you into the virtual space anyway.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I also still see the issue that people don't want to wear something on their head and have to wear it when they game all the time.
Yeah.
Whether that's a headset or whether that's glasses, I don't think people want to do it. Like, I don't even want to wear my headset all the time.
I do. I love wearing these.
That's
They're so comfortable. That's my thing though. Like it has to be comfortable, and it has to enhance the experience. That's the biggest thing for me in order for me to really want to do it.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be one of those things where, like, it's an intro right now, and then later down the line, after it comes, like, they're going to work a lot of the bugs out with this. People thinking that it's not comfortable or it's too cumbersome or not wanting to do it, and then later down the line they'll hammer it out so it's so convenient that even people who don't like that stuff there's no argument that you can make.
Right.
I don't think they're there yet, but I think at some point they probably will get there. Like nobody, obviously there's still people who complain about the Wii U's gamepad, interacting with the system, but it works really well. So I think that it's to a point now where it's
accepted.
It's accepted, yeah, and it's viewed as useful, as opposed to just like, oh, what a pain. Gotta use the pad. Most of the time, some games can still ruin it, but
and to Kevin's point, like I think what you're saying is really like also super valid, because I think one of the biggest deterring factors behind like 3D TVs was that like everyone had to have glasses in order to enjoy 3D.
I mean, that also means if you have an Oculus Rift, like if your friends come over, you can't play a game together. If you have it on, you can't even hear them or see them.
That's true. They could be doing anything.
Yeah. That's part of why I don't like wearing a headset. Like when I'm playing for long periods of time, is I always feel like somebody's trying to talk to me from behind me. Like,
yeah, I wear
I
just the 1 ear. I do just the 1 ear. Lord.
Precisely. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
It's unsettling.
On your
I
murder
agree.
death you.
Especially with really good headphones that like get rid of all other noise.
That's what I have when I game. Yeah. And occasionally, like somebody's been like in my doorway yelling to get my attention, and I haven't heard them. It's terrifying.
Or you get the tap on the shoulder.
Yep.
While you're playing Outlast, oh dear lord.
Oh man.
They would have gotten hit. They would have gotten hit.
Yeah.
Just
Gone.
And we were actually just talking about Mortal Kombat, which I think I get the impression that we're all kind of excited for in some way or another.
Say it's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. So
like, why not?
Exactly. So Spawn. I mean, I threw this in there because I love Spawn. You guys might not as much as I do, but Spawn might be making.
Yeah, I grew up with that, man.
Dude, seriously, I'm so excited.
So
if that happens, I'm buying it day one without a question. Like, if he's in. So okay, maybe I should say what the actual news is.
I feel like he's going to be DLC, but
Me too. I also feel like he's going to be DLC, but if he's in it, then I'm still getting it. Like, if it just needs to be a thing.
well, they love DLC and they love to charge way too much for a character.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he is a possibility of being a character in Spawn. In Mortal Kombat. And Todd McFarlane made a comment about this, and he also made a comment about the Spawn movie. So they are working on the Spawn movie.
What was that?
What was what?
The passing boat.
Passing boat? Is that what that was?
Yeah, it definitely sounded, or an elephant.
There you go.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know what that was. Hopefully that wasn't me. Because I guess I was talking in here. Either that or it came from my end. Which in that case, I'm sorry, anyone. But yeah, who else would you guys like to see in the Mortal Kombat universe? And like, part of me is thinking like serious question or like goofy question. And I feel like
Jigglypuff, 100%. Or Kirby.
Oh,
Either
man.
way, I
Can you imagine?
a really, really cute character that just like if it's Jigglypuff, I just want to see Jigglypuff like take the microphone and just beat someone mercilessly with it, and then rip off their head and start
singing into their head like.
Can you imagine Kirby in Mortal Kombat when he like eats somebody?
Oh,
exactly.
And just blood just.
Or what if it was like Kirby or Jigglypuff personified as like a humanoid, and like and then like just like really grotesque version of Kirby that just like sucks people in and just like regurgitates them with like acid and like mucus.
He starts out as a cute puffball, but after he sucks somebody in and gets their powers, it becomes like hybrid of them and him.
That's just even just thinking about that is so.
Poops them out instead of filling them back out.
That's bizarre.
That would be cool though.
Yeah, I actually I just heard, I think like a week or two ago, that the band Guar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a petition by the fans of Guar to have I wrote the name down because I can't.
Otis Arungus.
Otis Arungus, yeah.
That's right.
One of the members of Guar to be in the Mortal Kombat game.
Interesting.
And if you don't know what he looks like, you should look up a picture.
He looks pretty crazy.
He looks like a Mortal Kombat character. So
yeah, I believe that this character should be in Mortal Kombat. I mean,
what's his name?
Otis Arungus. It's O-D-R-S.
Known in real life as like I think David Brocky or David I think something like that.
He's actually
what?
Rest in peace. He recently died. Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
So it even makes it even like more poignant to like immortalize him in Mortal Kombat because that's
Mortal Kombat. Sorry.
Totally down for that.
So I'm looking at a picture of him right now. He definitely puts on that costume and rocks that shit.
Yeah, like doesn't that look like somebody who could just be in Mortal Kombat? Like no other connotations at all. Like he's not from anything.
He just
there. Looks like he just looks like he'd be a part of that universe.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy looking. I would be down to have him in there.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Like I saw that on I don't know somewhere that there was a petition. I was like, man, they should do that.
Right.
That makes total sense to me. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Exactly.
Other than obviously they have to devote the time to make the character model, all that kind of stuff. But.
Right.
I want to change my answer to a Pokemon trainer. That way you can have like 6 different Pokemon, all of which are adorable, and all of which do terrible things to people.
Charizard would
I want to see like
rip people apart.
Like a little Eevee come out and then just like latch onto someone's balls.
Oh gosh.
Or if it's a female character, maybe.
And then your fatality can be that you throw the Pokeball and somebody actually just gets squished inside it.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. We're giving them $1 million ideas here. I'm down for all of that.
Somehow I don't think Nintendo's going to go for that.
And then just like a Snorlax, just like throw a Pokeball up, a Snorlax just comes down and like falls on them. And
Yep.
Viper comes out, just like cuts them up into pieces.
Yeah, you'd be a great distance fighter. You have to make sure you stay away from them so you can just keep chucking Pokeballs at them.
Yeah, everyone's least favorite character.
The spammy character. Pikachu,
like
go!
Cable
Pikachu, go! Pikachu, go! So, Yeah, who else? I guess as a serious guy, you guys had that really good answer. The dude from Guar, that would be a pretty decent choice, I think. So we had Kratos in Mortal Kombat 9.
Yep.
Which was
and he was good. Like he fit.
Yeah, he totally made sense.
Especially since that one was all about weapons.
Right. I'm trying. Maybe Wolverine in that universe would be awesome.
Yeah.
Just gonna put that out there. Wolverine. Maybe even like Skylark. I'm trying to look at my list of like figures over there. Like who else would be really cool?
Predator.
Yeah, Predator, totally. I remember seeing that IGN article, and they were talking about that. I was like, yeah, I think Predator would be pretty badass there.
Like he would fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
And the Xbox One, surprise, surprise, is tanking in China after relatively strong sales. And then
I don't know why they even tried. Nobody.
Because they were selling their system like $150 cheaper than what it usually is.
Yeah.
And giving like a free game or two per console.
It sold like
Microsoft
100,000 on
never done well in Asia at all.
I mean, so why? Why is that?
Probably because they have enough of their own companies. Like, there's enough Japanese game companies that they don't really need to support Microsoft.
That's true, but this is in China, though. This is different. This is a totally different landscape.
I mean,
they haven't had access to consoles in ages.
Regions. Like, I don't know.
I'd always say they're more Sony or Nintendo fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Microsoft just doesn't sell over there. Like they never have.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like Nintendo games don't sell as well here.
Yeah.
Similar reason. Like,
that's where I guess brand loyalty comes into play.
Yeah.
Like just reading about why PS4 is kicking ass in the Americas or North America mainly is people always say resolution, which is weird. It's not that big a difference.
Right.
But a lot of people buying the Xbox One, like the number one or number two reason is brand loyalty.
Right.
Which I thought was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's very interesting to kind of take note of.
And the differences between the Xbox One and the PS4 are like minimal, and that's the other thing too. So there's nothing really that sets it apart other than games, which if you...
Games and interface, I would say. Games
well, if you don't know the games or
creativity.
the interface, it's not a selling point. Like,
Right.
if you're in China, you've never had an Xbox, you don't even know anybody who's ever had an Xbox, why would you buy it?
That's true.
That would be like me buying an Ouya. Like, people could tell me it's great, and I'll be like, well, I don't know. I've never seen it.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
I have a phone. Like, why do I need...
Yeah.
Very good points. I don't know. Maybe... did the PS4 launch in China yet?
I assume so.
I think so.
I'll have to look that up later. I don't feel like doing it right now.
I think they did.
I think maybe there also might be just like on a flat out game type kind of preference. Like I feel like a lot of Xbox games might just not have the pull.
Right.
PS4 is still not available in China.
Okay.
No way.
Because China has asked Sony not to.
Wow.
They're still being jerks about it.
Yeah, right? Because I remember they agreed that they would allow Sony to release their console in China. But
No, this is from early January. I'm assuming that nothing's changed because that's the latest news.
Because that's the latest time I've seen anything about it. That's insane. I mean, that could potentially be good news for Xbox if it continues to be that way. I mean, over time, people will probably start picking it up in some way or another. Maybe not what Microsoft was hoping, because I know, like, their opening week, they sold like 100,000 units.
Because the rumors are that they won't region lock it like the Chinese government wants, so people would be able to get games from anywhere and play it there, including games that advocate messages that the government may not want them to see.
Well, Sony is probably better.
I mean, I'm sure it's selling on the black market like absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Do we have numbers for that?
I mean, we worked at the Apple Store. People in China get the products.
Oh, yeah, they will find a way to get that shit. No, without a question.
No, nobody does that. Come on.
I worked back of house, so I was there for opening, and there were so many mornings where I'd show up and have to wait outside for a manager to show up, and there'd be a line of like 50 people just waiting to come in and buy like whatever had just come out. And then we'd go in the store and have to like squeeze in the door and then shut it immediately behind us and be like, we're not open for 2 hours.
Yeah, go home. Go to sleep.
Go home.
No, get out of here.
I remember being there for a lot of product openings as well, and it was exactly like you said. You know, it was insane. Literally could barely get through the door without people asking you like a million other questions about like.
Yeah. I mean, the difference in the morning is just that it was all people that were obviously exporting the product to somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about this a little while ago, and actually this ties into what we were just discussing about kind of different markets and what different markets want. Fable Legends announced that it is going free to play as its business model. And in a lot of ways, China has like a really huge market in like online MMO games and MOBAs. And so, do you think we're going to see more games like this kind of go into the free-to-play realm? Do you think it's a smart idea for Fable Legends to do that?
Yes. I mean, if you can get more people to get their hands on the game, then overall I think you will sell more, especially when it's something that's like highly addictive. Mm-hmm. Like I'm still, like I'm surprised that a lot of things like Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft still have subscription fees, because I feel like by now I'm just surprised they haven't figured out a way to get around that and just charge more for other things that people want.
Right.
But then again, they're both doing well enough that they don't have to, so that's probably why they haven't.
But they are both on a decline.
Yeah,
like a pretty steep decline at that.
I hope that Fable Legends does really well. Mm-hmm. Like I hope that they do a really good job. One, because I really like the Fable franchise.
Yeah,
like, I've been a player of the Fable games since Fable
1.
Yeah, and I loved it, and I've loved the series since then. And I think it's really cool that they're doing the free to play. I like the game design. I think it all seems really great as long as they can pull it off. Mm-hmm. Because just like any free to play kind of model goes, it's like it could be really cool, or they could screw it up terribly and ruin it for everybody else.
Right. Right.
So I have really high hopes for them, and yeah, hopefully they just pull it out and do it well.
It seems like a really interesting premise, whereas like one character gets to kind of be the boss character and lay traps down and lay scenarios down. It's like, you know, I just recently started playing Dungeons and Dragons actually, for the first time. So my first time was like maybe 2 weeks ago, and then we were kind of seeing if this was something that we'd be interested in doing. And then we played again yesterday. And like now that I've played again a little bit, like I kind of understand more about it. And this actually, Kevin, we should like, you know way more about Dungeons and Dragons, so I feel like we would totally noob things up if we got together now to do that.
Well, I played the last edition, so I don't actually know the new one. But
no, this is like just straight up Dungeons and Dragons starter pack, like.
Yeah, that's the newer edition.
Oh, is it?
So it operates differently.
What?
They released a new edition.
They've had a bunch of different. There are a lot of different editions. So
this is 5th edition right now. I played 4th. 5th edition came out like the Monster Manual was out at Boston Comic Con last year, and it had just released. So.
Did not know that. So
everybody I know plays 4th edition.
That's crazy. All right. So first of all, there's
hardcore people play 3 or 3.5 because they say it's the best.
Really?
I play 4 because it's what was out when I started playing. But I'm told that 5 is better mechanics overall.
Really?
It's just everything I own is no longer usable if I go to 5. I also haven't played in like a year. So.
Even the dice?
No, the dice are the same.
I was gonna say, like, do they change the dice too?
like the tile sets and the dice would be the same, but any scenarios don't work because they've changed the difficulty. They've changed the way the characters interact with each other.
The books and all that kind of stuff.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, what I was trying to say was, like, Fable Legends reminds me a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, obviously a lot of games remind me of Dungeons and Dragons just because they all kind of spawned from it. But this seems like a literal like online version of that.
I mean, the one thing that no game has ever replicated that Dungeons & Dragons can do is that, like, in Dungeons & Dragons, when you're the DM, it's terrifying because the players can do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely anything. And it's not just within a number of set conditions.
Yep.
Like, you could be playing, and you'll be like, you have to fight all these monsters. And then...
I want to persuade them to turn around.
Yeah, or something could be like, well, I'm just going to light the whole building on fire and kill us all. Can I do that? And be like, I guess? Or one of my players at one point was like, I'm going to jump off this roof and hold a knife below me and land on somebody. How much damage does that do? And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know how to calculate that. Let's see, like 20 feet plus 1d4 plus 10. Yeah. I'm going to say 5.
And because running through a forest being chased by Ents. Somebody lights the forest on fire. Perfect solution. True story.
Yeah, dude. So
and that's the thing that like game makers can't replicate, because you can't program a game to adapt like that without some sort of really crazy AI that would kill us all.
I mean, some games have gotten close to doing that, you know.
But it's still within a set number of characteristics.
Yeah.
Like, games that present multiple options, it still has to be options that the developers have thought of, and as soon as you try and do something else, the game either stops you or crashes.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah, I've had a lot of funny scenarios as a result of that game, but this seems cool because like one player is kind of like the DM. They're kind of the dungeon master, and they can set the scenarios for different things. What I don't know about Fable Legends, though, is if you're playing as the bad guy, you can actually jump in and fight, or if you're only setting scenarios.
I think you can. I think you can zoom into one of your monsters.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I think I was looking at it a little bit, and honestly, a little hard to tell.
Yeah.
From like the official website.
Yeah, totally.
But I think you can.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
A little bit of Evolve thrown in there, you know?
Yeah, I actually was thinking about that. Like, it seems like a Fable version of Evolve.
Right.
I was like, that could be really cool.
Yeah, totally. And now we're going to transition to the final part of the podcast, our hot topic. Now, I would like, Chris, for you to kind of tell us a little bit about what it is that you're doing outside of gaming, of course. You have a Kickstarter campaign that you told me a little bit about. I would love to know a little bit more about that.
I do. So I am currently doing a Kickstarter campaign for 2 webcomics right now. So I write one of the webcomics, and the other webcomic is illustrated and written by Jackie Musto, who also does the illustrations for the one I write. And they are Lady Skylark, just www.ladyskylark.com, and
awesome.
K&P, which is same thing, www.knp.com. So both these webcomics are up on the internet for free. You can read them. You can read through the entirety of what we've got, and we've got a lot. And right now, I'm doing a Kickstarter for funding to print them myself. I'm doing a self-publishing thing. So all of the comic pages are complete. It's not like a Kickstarter where it's like, oh, I have like 2 pages, and I want you to give me all this money so I can do maybe some more pages at some point. It's all done already. I just need the money to print the books.
Right.
And it's a bunch of books. And that's the really cool thing, the exciting / like really terrifying thing about this is like, this is the big print for me. This is going to be 3 volumes, like graphic novel, trade paperback thickness volumes of KMP and 2 volumes of Lady Skylark.
Right. It's a lot of content.
It's a lot of content. Each each book is between like 80 to 160 pages.
Okay.
So it's a good thickness of graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 5 graphic novels. And if we succeed in the Kickstarter, basically I'm going to get a quantity of books that would allow me to sell books to comic book stores.
Right.
For a price that they would want to pay for them. Which is really hard, self-publishing.
Yes.
If you guys are unfamiliar, anybody listening may not know. I'm sure, like, a lot of you guys are probably at least somewhat familiar with the process. But like self-publishing, comic book people in the comic book industry can produce like hundreds of thousands of issues. So they make the issues for like a penny each. The printers don't charge them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When you're self-publishing, if I make a run of like 50 books, it costs me almost as much to print the books as I'm going to sell the book for.
Yep.
Which is like brutal.
$3-4 per issue.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But with these books, I can actually, because I'm going to be getting, if the Kickstarter succeeds, I'm going to be getting like over 1,000 books. At that thickness. My apartment is going to be full of books. I won't be able to walk.
Right.
But it'll allow me to sell them in comic book stores, and that's really cool, because then, that's the hardest thing, is actually getting into comic stores so people can walk into the store and see your stuff.
Right.
The Kickstarter is basically for that, and one of them is the KMP comic is a modern fantasy about a college girl whose best friend is a skeleton.
Yep.
No one sees the skeleton but her. So, kind of like fun, interesting hijinks that happen with that.
I remember reading that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
The Lady Skylark comic is a steampunk sky pirate adventure comic starring Lady Skylark, who is a captain who gets mutinied off her ship mid-flight, and then it's the story of how she seeks bloody revenge on her crew. Very different comics, but the coolest thing I think for people about it is, like I said, it's not a Kickstarter where you're not risking anything going into this Kickstarter. It is a 100% guaranteed Kickstarter. All the work is done. You can read the entirety of everything online before you even donate. And then if you like it, you can donate, and you can get one volume. You can get both volumes of just Lady Skylark if you like steampunk but you don't like the fantasy stuff. You can get one volume of KMP. You can get all 3 volumes. You can get every book, as well as, because you're doing the Kickstarter stuff, you get, in addition to the book, you get some additional stuff, swag, things like that.
Yeah.
And actually, really cool. We're just in the process of finishing. We're in the process of finishing up making some T-shirts. We're silk screening some T-shirts.
Nice.
So you can add on a little bit, get a T-shirt as well.
I know a company as well. We can talk offline a little bit about that, but I have some shirts up for pre-order. I'm going to be placing an order for one of my shirts to see exactly how everything comes out. I have some custom tags I'm getting designed for them, so they'll also have like Black Oni apparel tags on them. So look out for that, people.
Very cool.
But
we'll
talk.
So that's basically what I've been up to for the past like 2 weeks, and we're about halfway through the Kickstarter right now.
Okay.
And we're almost at halfway funded.
Oh, nice.
So I definitely just encourage everybody to check it out and share it, and just share it with people, because it's a webcomic. So, the best thing that anybody doing who's listening to this can do is just, even if you just share it. And then, even if you don't want, if you're not a hard copy kind of person, because I know some people don't care about that. I like having a physical copy of stuff, but some people don't care about physical copies. Even if you're not that type of person, just share it on all, whatever it is you do, so that other people can see it and check it out. And there's links to the Kickstarter from both websites, the KMP website and the Lady Skylark website. In addition, I'm sure Will's gonna put a link or something in the video.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could personally recommend it myself as well, because again, I met Chris at a comic convention. I had a table near his in Boston Comic Con, and I got a chance to obviously meet him and Jackie in person. They're both awesome people. One of the reasons why he's on the podcast. And the books are really well illustrated. The story is interesting. I've got a chance to read some of it, so it's I can personally recommend it, and I encourage everyone, even within our podcast group, outside of that as well, to at least check it out. See what it's like, and see if it's something that you might want to share with other people. Because one of the most powerful things that we have now in this day and age is the ability to so easily and accessibly share content. So I'm happy to continue sharing, and of course the podcast is a good avenue for that as well. So yeah, guys, check it out. It's good stuff.
And it's all like we go through like local printers and everything too, because we're located in Massachusetts. We go through a place called Hippo Print, which is a little tiny place up in New Hampshire.
Hippo Print?
Yeah, they're really cool, and they do a really good job on like really nice like paper and everything. It's real good. It's
nice.
Good times.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to put that on one of my tabs over here.
It's like, we'll talk business later.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you looked into doing like Kindle versions of these once they're done, so you can put in the full like cover art and everything?
We've looked into it like very briefly. Right now, we're mostly trying to do like the hard copy stuff.
Yeah.
I looked into I think we did look into a bit into the Amazon stuff. The main problem they have is formatting. Because in order to format it correctly, they actually have to like shrink it down a little bit, so it has like this big border.
Yeah.
And the way that the comic is made, it's made to be flush with the edge in like a kind of classic comic format, as opposed to like I said webcomic. When I say webcomic, I should clarify, because a lot of people think like a 3-panel webcomic. This is formatted like an actual comic book. PDF. So if you like comic books, this is more for you, because I say that sometimes people do get confused, and I forget, because I look at it like every day. So yeah, it's not just the 3-panel format or like the 4-panel or like the one big panel. It's a comic book that we are printing into a comic book format.
And what is both the website that they can check it out, and also the Kickstarter website for people who are only listening in and not seeing the links?
Yeah. So the website that you can check out, each one. So there'll be 3 websites. It's www.kandp. It's KAYANDP.com, and then the other webcomic is www.ladyskylark.com. That's LADYSKYLARK.com. And then the Kickstarter is a little harder to get to, because it's a Kickstarter and its URL is about like 10,000 miles long.
Right.
But if you just search for Lady Skylark, it's the first thing that comes up. So.
Yeah, it's really easy. And if you go to either the Lady Skylark or the KNP page, there are links underneath the current page to bring you to that. And if you really wanted to do the like actual like Kickstarter page, just look for like KNP Lady Skylark Bookstravaganza is what it's being called. So, but yeah, like Kevin said, if you just search Lady Skylark, it's really easy to find.
So do it, people. What's that?
Do it. I would appreciate it greatly.
Yes. And our very final thing on the Black Oni podcast is, I just went to a different thing. So, what, if there is anything that you suspect of being announced, what do you expect will be announced at PAX East of 2015? So, since this is kind of the...
I don't think much is going to be announced.
You don't think so?
There's another PAX the week after.
Wait, another PAX, or are you talking about
PAX
GDC?
itself is like within a couple weeks of PAX East.
Okay, yeah.
And then we've got many, many conferences after. I know that last year there were like no announcements at PAX, and I'm expecting the same thing again.
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo that.
Okay.
I think it's becoming less relevant because there are just too many damn conferences in the same time of year.
Yeah.
You know what
Second.
I say, if anything, the same thing that I kind of heard last year from PAX. I expect maybe a couple of interesting indie games that are going to pop out, probably mostly from local area developers who don't want to fly to like all sorts of different conferences.
Right.
Maybe some things coming out of Canada, but I don't think it's going to be anything that it's going to be like huge AAA games or even probably AA games that that are going to be announcing. If anything, it'll just be like little companies that pop out. I'm sure there'll still be some cool stuff, but it won't be anything huge.
I mean, there might be like a new demo, like some new footage, but that's probably about it from like big games.
Yeah.
And Nintendo won't be there at all because they haven't been for the last few years.
Yeah, they won't be. I'm with you on those. I'm hopeful that some of the games that are coming out, like April-ish, will have some announcements, or even like end of March, we'll have some announcements, and some like of course, some new trailers and some new bits of really cool information. So I don't expect anything kind of crazy to come out of it, but I heard from an inside source that a few things are cooking up on the Sony and Microsoft side when it comes to people who are doing a lot of live streaming, and as well as some new features, I guess, coming to the consoles, and hopefully we'll be getting some overlay functionality to some of the live stream stuff so that people can more easily jump into more of that. And I wanted to let people know that I'm going to be putting out a lot of videos in relation to PAX because there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. I'm going to have some interviews. I'm going to have some gameplay commentary stuff. I'm also going to be streaming directly to my Twitch channel. That is twitch.tv/jblaze06. And you will actually see me. I don't want to say anything too soon. There is a good likelihood that someone fairly large in the YouTubing gaming community will be either facing off against me or working with me in some gaming that Sunday. So make sure you guys are subscribed, or I guess following on Twitch, and then following on Twitter to be up to date on what's going on and what kind of things I'm seeing and some of the crazy things that are going on. Because I mean, it's easy for me to assume that nothing big is going to happen at PAX, but equally so, there could be something that just like no one saw coming. So I'm very excited. I hope you guys are too. At least to an extent, to see if there's anything worthwhile. I know E3 is going to be the big thing we're all waiting for, which I'm super...
I'm always excited about shows.
Yeah.
I like to see what comes out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually like totally in the dark beforehand, and then like stuff happens and it's just like, whoa.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like a preview for Christmas.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on to this podcast. It was an absolute pleasure having you all on again.
Yeah, it was cool, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And again, make sure you guys go check out his Kickstarter campaign and also the webcomics. And also, Dave and Kev, you guys both have different various forms of social media and interactivity. So, Dave, what you doing?
Oh yeah, yes. Shameless self-plug. I'm doing wdwp.co. That's why do we play, and we're continuing the podcast. We're finding that like our random conversations are the most fun. Mm-hmm. Like the most recent one we got into a discussion was while reviewing latest releases in the entertainment world was Gone Girl, and how we went into this like 15 or 20 minute tangent about the film and what happens. I won't spoil any of it, but like we completely differed in our opinions, and I tend to like side with the women in this one issue. It was really funny. But it's been fun, like mostly gaming culture and that kind of stuff, but almost anything nerd related.
Right. That's awesome. You also have an article or review on the Black Oni blog, right?
No, not recently.
No. I remember you saying there might be one.
For a game that we already talked about like several times.
Oh,
that might be forth.
Yeah,
that might be forthcoming. Like it's kind of been drilled in everybody's head by this point.
Yeah,
I might do it on that, or I might do it on the order. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah,
something soon. Something very soon.
Something soon. You guys look out for that. And Kev,
what's up?
What you got going on over there?
I post stuff on your site. I've got a YouTube channel with not much on it. I keep trying to get on Twitch, but every single name that I use is already taken, and I go to their channels and there's nothing there. But they've taken these names just so I can't have them. And so...
Do we have to break some legs, or like...
I want to burn it all.
So if we're going to have to break some legs, I mean, I got somebody for that.
All right, good.
So yeah, you guys, there'll be annotation on his head for the YouTube channel, as well as annotations for a lot of the other stuff. As long as YouTube lets me do it, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And obviously, guys, you can follow me on Twitter at BlackOni6, Instagram at BlackOni, and you're already probably on the YouTube channel, so you don't have to do that again.
Oh yeah, hey, I actually have. For the comics, in addition to the websites and stuff, there's like Tumblr and Twitter and all that kind of stuff too.
Oh,
so,
nice. Are those
basically the same name, KMP. Yeah, they should be linked up, so you can find it all there as well. So
sweet.
So definitely check that out. So if you want to, like, follow, and subscribe. But yeah,
I now have it switched.
Nice.
What is
the username?
My username is KKasaurus.
Damn cat.
Hey, you're one letter away, man.
Yeah.
Wait, so is it KK Thesaurus or KK Asaurus?
Osaurus.
Osaurus.
I'll give you the link in a minute.
Yes, please do.
There's nothing there yet. I just got the username confirmed. So.
That's awesome. And as always, people at home, or if you're in the car or on a train listening or whatever, thank you again for tuning in. We'll catch you all on the next episode. Game on, and J Blaze out.